Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ron TMHD. So yeah, this is going to be a great time. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ron TMHD, and today we watched the new installment in the Evil Dead franchise, Evil Dead Rise. This film is, well, as I said, a continuation or more anthology or whatever you want to call it. Just a new movie in the Evil Dead series, and this movie continues the horror that the original reboot from about maybe 10 years ago brought back, or originally to expand upon the horror elements of Evil Dead, straying from its comedic elements from Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. And while I do prefer the comedic Evil Dead, I do not hate on horrific Evil Dead, because it's still just as good. And this film did not disappoint whatsoever. I enjoyed myself all the way through, and it just flew by. Really enjoyed it, and I think it is a great new installment. But before I rant and rave, I will explain why I like this film and more back at the house.
All you can do is run.
I'm getting this out of you.
You'd be a good mom someday, honey bath.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you know how to lie to kids. Mom?
Mommy's with the maggots now.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ron TMHD, and today we watched the newest installment in the Evil Dead franchise, Evil Dead Rise. And this film is continuing the horror that the reboot Evil Dead brought back, I guess, even though Evil Dead 1 wasn't very scary. It was trying to be scary, so I guess the reboot made it into be scary. But, this one added on to the spookiness of the reboot and the horrific nature of the Deadites and the possession and the Necronomicon and all that. But I did quite enjoy this film, and this is the first time that Evil Dead has taken place in like a city, like an apartment, which is cool. Deadites in a city. It's pretty fucking cool. I mean, they've only really ever been in a forest or a medieval castle, so there's not really much you can do. There's a lot you can do, but they haven't really expanded farther than that. Or, I mean, if you watched Ash vs. Evil Dead, then they did expand it, technically, but not in film form, so we're not going to count it. But I quite enjoyed it, actually. I thought the film was very, very fun, very bloody, and I love the blood and the gore, and it was very fast-paced and very to the point, This film just got immediately to the point and no breaks. There were no breaks, and the film just flew by. Film just flew by, and, honestly, even though I like 90-minute horror films, I think that's the length most horror films should be. I don't know if this movie was long enough. Even though I liked 90 minutes for most horror films, I think this film should have been a little bit longer. Just, get more, of that Deadite juices in there, you know what I mean? And that sounded wrong. Get more of the Deadite, just more Evil Dead goodness in there, This film felt like Resident Evil. Dead Island. I was naming off zombie video games now. This felt like an Evil Dead movie, but I just wanted more out of it. I didn't leave the movie theater disappointed or, feeling unsatisfied, but I did feel like I wanted a bit more of it, I just feel like the film could have done more, Yeah, I just really, really enjoyed this film all around, and, I mean, honestly, even though I'm not going to spoil anything major in this movie. There's not much to spoil, to be honest. It's a pretty straightforward Evil Dead movie, aside from maybe some deaths you wouldn't see coming. But overall, this movie's a pretty standard story, and it keeps you going is probably the blood, the gore, and I mean the story is there to keep like you invested. But I think like the stuff that's really there is like the Evil Dead, the Deadites themselves. Actually, I think the story is one of the main factors, but it's not the main factor to keep you watching. It is one of the main factors, but I think the main factor is probably liking Evil Dead. That's probably why you're watching it in the first place. And if you're getting into Evil Dead, this is probably not a good place to start. Just saying. I mean, you can. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying there's much to, not, anything, lore heavy, nothing you wouldn't understand. I'm just saying, maybe you should start out with the original, first three, with Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. Maybe you should start there. And honestly, you could pick any of those three, or maybe you could start with either Army of Darkness or Evil Dead 1, because Army of Darkness, maybe you should go in chronological, but whatever. I'm going on a rant about Evil Dead. But anyway, this movie just was really fun, and another thing I liked about it were the Deadites themselves. I think the Deadites were really fun, and they were pretty funny, too, because the thing I always like about Evil Dead is how fucking great the Deadites are. The Deadites have always been great because of how, comically evil they are. You know what I mean? They're so, comically, diabolical and evil that it's so entertaining, and, I think the Deadites are entertainingly evil in this one, because I think if you just turn the Deadites into stereotypical evil demons, they wouldn't feel the same, because Deadites are special in my opinion. They like to toy with humans, they like to fuck with them. Because in reality, I think in this movie, if the Deadites just wanted to kill all the humans, they could. They could just kill all the humans, immediately, right? But they don't, because they want to have fun first. They want to fuck with them. Because, they're demons. They, feed off fear and stuff, They feed off the humans, sadness and despair, so they and their pain. So I think isn't that, something demons do? I don't know. Maybe I'm not that enriched in the lore. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. If I'm wrong about that, leave a comment down below and ridicule me for how wrong I am. I'll totally appreciate it. But, yeah. I think, I love how the Deadites love to toy with humans. I love to fuck with them. Especially, I think I love how they fuck with humans in this, but I loved how they fucked with Ash in the old Evil Dead movies. It just was so special, because you could tell, even in Ash vs. Evil Dead, it was great. Because, you can tell how much the Deadites fucking despise Ash. And at points, they don't even kill him. They just like to fuck with him. And that, I feel like in this movie, they want to kill them. But I hope at one point, there's rumors that there's a new Ash Evil Dead movie coming out. Hopefully, we get the Deadeye Ash dynamic back from Ash vs. Evil Dead and the other Evil Dead movies, because that was something. And I'm not saying that this isn't, as I said before, but man, the Deadites were probably one of the highlights of the film, definitely. Yeah, just really freaking entertaining. I laughed a lot throughout the whole film. Maybe not super hard laughing, but I chuckled or I laughed a little bit here and there, because the film I think was enjoyable. It was fun. And I was never bored during the movie, I was never bored. And I think, actually, the spookiness level was also pretty good. I liked some of the suspenseful scenes that were in the film. Obviously, one thing I really liked is that from Evil Dead 2, and all the original Evil Deads, we got the demon guy that would, float through the forest. The guy that would speed through the forest and that would possess people. The demon. Or maybe that's just all what the demons look like. But we got the classic, Evil Dead demon shot through the forest at the beginning, which was just a drone. But at the end of the movie, we got a classic actual demon shot. I like to call him the Shadow Demon. I don't know why, I just do. But he flies and he attacks somebody, and of course, it's an Evil Dead movie. You gotta end with somebody screaming in terror. The first three ended with Ash screaming in terror, depending on what ending you got for Army of Darkness. But and I think the original Evil Dead reboot ended with, whatever her name was, screaming in terror. That's just kind of a way Evil Dead is supposed to end, it's a tradition. It's a tradition. And it's a good one, because, you gotta love a scream. Can't have a good horror movie without a good scream. Overall, just a great film. And definitely worth your time if you're a horror fan, Evil Dead fan, or if you're, I mean, as I said, I wouldn't recommend this as your first Evil Dead film, but if you really think that you don't need to watch the first 3 to enjoy this one, go right ahead, you know, go watch this one and then watch the original 3, because you really should. If you end up liking this one, definitely go back and watch the other ones. And hell, maybe if you like that, go watch a couple seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead. Really good TV show, really slept on, and then it got canceled. But, yeah. Very good, and just had a lot of fun with it. But, I think I should get to the rating. And what I would rate this film is an 8 out of 10. I made it up as soon as the movie was over. An 8 out of 10, I think, is solid enough. But, you know, guys, I think I've said what I need to say. I think I've said my piece, so. So, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you liked it. Share it with friends. Subscribe. There's notifications on. Comment down below if you liked it. But, you guys know how it is. That's not what I meant to say. What I really meant to say was if you guys hated this video, unsubscribe, dislike, tell me what you hate me in the comments. Signing off. I would get the chainsaw down, but it's kind of like the supporting structure of everything, so tough luck, pal. I don't know. Never mind, scratch that, cut that out. No, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't do it. Sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.